As we've been reporting here on Morning Live that schools around the country are reopening today following the Easter holidays, let's just find out how things are looking in the Eastern Cape province. We do know that it's one of those worst performing provinces when it comes to our education. Well, our reporter Iviwe Poti is in the Eastern Cape for us this morning. Molo SABC Ugopingoku Estalelo Gopingoku, and how are things looking in the Eastern Cape?
Molo Palesa, we are definitely here in New Brighton at a high school where the MEC earlier on this year had come to visit. You will remember, unfortunately, the Eastern Cape has the dubious honour of being the least performing province. But, you know, when speaking to the MEC earlier this year, he said it wasn't about the number of matrics that we have that have passed, but in terms of the quality of matrics that we are actually producing. Going hand in hand, though, they are, as a department, working very vigorously in terms of improving the matric results within the province. At the school that we are at right now, there was a problem of absenteeism and late coming, which he found at a number of schools throughout the province. But we are at the school now, just in terms of, you know, an update how the department is actually doing, the programs that they spoke to us earlier on this year, the implementation of those programs, and how they're going to do going forward. We're going to speak to Mr. Lukwe, who's an educationist specialist within the department, who's going to speak to us a bit more in terms of those programs that the MEC had spoken about earlier this year, such as the program of having your performing schools like your Grey, which he visited, partner with your non-performing schools to try and help them improve.
There is a progress in terms of partnership between Itembelihle and Otto du Plessis. It's not far from where we are, and Newton Tech. These are seasoned technical high schools. As you would know, that Itembelihle is progressing towards being technical. We only have one side of academic, which is commerce. We are phasing that out, and therefore we want them to learn from the other technical high schools that are here in the P district. In terms of late coming, both teachers and learners, there is an improvement on that one, because we have had 4 visits. The first one of the MEC, the second one of the portfolio committee, and 2 multidisciplinary teams that have come to the school. We have identified certain aspects that where we need to support the learners and the teachers. So that has improved a lot in terms of the results that we have received from the school for the first term of 2017. And we hope that there is going to be much improvement, because there is an extra effort that teachers are putting into the wheel in terms of making sure that learners are doing very well come the end of the year, as well as the mid-year examinations. So the principal will be able to talk to the results that we have received. They are very well results that we have received. Only mathematics and mechanical engineering where we are having a challenge, but the teacher is putting more effort. Even yesterday she was here at school with those learners, making sure that they are doing very well in terms of improvement in the areas.
Mr. Luke, as well as when we speak of the results, and also, for example, using this school as a case study, which was a comprehensive school and now phasing into a technical school and partnering it with technical schools, how is that program going in terms of the whole province? We did earlier on this year, the MEC did allude to the fact that he didn't want comprehensive schools anymore. He rather would want a school to focus either on technical, academic, etc., so that schooling is actually, you know, the quality of education is better, and schooling actually has a main focus in terms of also partnering them with those schools that are performing schools.
In the P district, we have technical high schools, you know, as well as the comprehensive high schools. This one, Itembelihle, as well as Ikwezilomso, where we are trying to phase out the academic side, as well as talking to our learners, as well as the parents about the importance of technical subjects, for them to be able to do work on their own, instead of all of them going to university for a degree, but there are other technical skills that they are able to acquire in a school like this one. So we are putting extra effort, as well as a department, to come in with our technical expertise in the form of subject advisors to talk to the learners, because there is still a stigma to TVET colleges from our learners that all of them want to go to university. Yet there are skills that to be acquired at a technical, at a TVET college where they can be able to do work on their own. So there is a drive that the SG undertook last year, I think in September, where she called school principals as well as parents about the rollout of the technical, vocational and academic subjects in our schools, trying to move away from academic. And schools are beginning to debate those in the province such that there is a buy-in from the parents, and they are the ones who are supposed to determine the curriculum of the school. So it's not only the principals only who can be able to do that. So there is that drive that we're continuing to do as a department to convince everybody that there is a need for us to move drastically towards technical and vocational so that learners can acquire skills and become entrepreneurs. So that this Department of Higher Education is is assisted by DBE in making sure that we drive that move towards technical and vocational.
And then just lastly, sir, there were schools within the province and as well as Nelson Mandela Bay Metro, to be specific, that only managed to obtain about a 20% pass rate, if not less. What are some of the programs that we'll see or that have started in those schools to try and improve those results, like your camps, etc., not only looking at your matrics, but, you know, from a grade 8 level as well going up?
What we are beginning to do now as a department, working with our colleagues from curriculum as well as circuit managers, we are beginning to talk to schools now, especially grade 8, 9 and 10. Because that's where it is starting, so that when they get into grade 10, that is their first year in matric, grade 11 second year in matric, and grade 12 is their third year in matric. There is a build up in terms of career choices and them performing very well, you know, from grade 8 up to grade 12. So those are the programs that we are beginning to take up as a district. We're visiting schools as multidisciplinary teams where we have a time to speak to the principal as well as SMT and educators. Now the next drive now would be to go and talk to the learners themselves about the importance of secondary education as well as career choices that they may have and where they can be able to get to university or college, depending on the career that they would want to take as the learners. So those are some of the things that we're trying to do as the Port Elizabeth district in order to assist our learners.
Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you very much.
Well, there you have it, Palesa. The programs that the MEC had alluded to earlier on this year when he was on his week visit within the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro have actually kick-started. Schools are starting to see results. They're starting to see improvement. As I'm standing here, actually, I can see a number of pupils actually trickling in to be on time. You will remember earlier on this year when we crossed into the Morning Live Bulletin, we told you that the MEC was very concerned about late coming.
All right, Nkosisi, that's our reporter live from the Eastern Cape, Iviwe Poti. Unfortunately, due to time constraints, we'll leave it at that, but we'll